Shalom. First off, I want to give all honor, all glory, and all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, GMS, Ruel. Shalom to the elect, beginning with the 144,000 to all you Akim that preach this truth to the four corners of the earth. May peace and may mercy be bestowed upon you for your labors and ultimately through your faith that you have in Yahweh Shai. This is the brother Halalium from the Great Millstone Camp down here in Chicago, coming at you with another episode. And this lesson is going to be over, kind of various topics, but mainly going into, us dealing with, vocab Malone and these other camps, walking up to Great Millstone, these Christians and these other Israelite camps like Sakari and them, walking up to Great Millstone, questioning the men of Yahweh Shai Shai. So I'm going to start this off in the book of Sirach. The book of Sirach, chapter 12. Chapter 12 and I'll start at verse 8. And it says, a friend cannot be known in prosperity, and an enemy cannot be hidden in adversity. In the prosperity of a man, enemies will be grieved, but in his adversity, even a friend will depart. Never trust thine enemy, for as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. So the scriptures tell you to never trust those who are your adversaries. And us being the men of the Lord, being persecuted, being looked down on, we have a lot of people that come up to us asking simple questions, but deep down inside their spirit, they're really seeking ways to dissemble the men of Yahweh Shai Shai. Whether it be by coming up and randomly recording us, they pull a phone out, even though they can watch us on YouTube for free. They ask questions that have already been, proven, that have already been broken down, hundreds of times over the years. But why do they keep doing it? Ultimately, because they hate Yahweh Shai Shai. And they hate the man that speak his word. Verse 11, it says, though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if you wipe the looking glass, and you shall know that all his rust has not been altogether wiped away. Set him not by thee, lest when he have overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And at the last, remember my words and be pricked therewith. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come nigh unto wild beast? So with all these men that have came up against Great Millstone, starting with our elders and our apostles on down, that have tried, their best to try to quiet the men of Yahweh Shai Shai from speaking his word out, we have to learn to not trust any of these people. Especially in our day-to-day walk, even when the cameras are off and when we take our garments off and we're in our regular clothing. We have to know every person that we deal with outside of this truth is considered to be an anti-Hamashiach, or what these Christians would call an antichrist. What these anti-Christians would call the antichrist, was they fall into that category as well, because they don't know the true name of Yahweh Shai. They don't know that his name is Yahweh Shai. They call him Christ. But I'm going to go on to the second scripture in the book of Titus, chapter 3 and verse 9. And it says, but avoid foolish questions and genealogies and contentions and strivings about the law, for they are unprofitable and vain. So often you have a lot of scoffers that try to ask these, I wouldn't say difficult questions, but they ask questions that are completely out of the ordinary in order to try to, confound you on what you don't know. And if you don't have enough knowledge, if you're green in this truth, meaning if you're inexperienced, you may get caught up by the questions that these people may ask. But the scriptures say, go from the presence of a foolish man where you perceive in him not the lips of knowledge. And it also says whether a fool is angry or sad, roughly paraphrasing, there is no rest. So if Yahweh Shema Shai has not chosen them to receive this word, it doesn't matter what you say to them. You can talk to them for years, man. But it'll be like talking to a brick wall. It will go in one ear and right out the other. It says, verse 10, a man that is a heretic after the first and second admonition reject. So if they can't understand the truth after that second attempt, hey, immediately, avoid out of their presence. And for those that don't know what the word heretic means, the word heretic is the Greek word
Strong's G 141, heretikos. Heretikos.
It's the Greek word heretikos, and it means fitted or able to take or choose the thing, schismatic, factitious, a follower of a false doctrine, a heretic. So basically, those that don't believe in Yahweh Shema Shai that are trying to cause divisions, through tactics of deceiving. They try to ask you these weird questions, try to come to you with different doctrines that make no sense. But ultimately, we only use the scriptures. That's the only knowledge that we really need. I go to Proverbs, the book of Proverbs, chapter, I believe, 9 and verse 1. No. The book of Proverbs, chapter 14 and verse 7. And it says, go from the presence of a foolish man when thou perceivest not in him the lips of knowledge. So if you perceive that the person that you're dealing with, if you perceive that they're ignorant, that they're not well learned, that they're just trying to ask questions in order to, be smart, to try to one-up you, you have to immediately go from their presence, because there are a lot of people in this truth, that we've dealt with, people that have came to us on the streets, that their only reason for asking questions is not because they necessarily want to learn, but because they want to try to test you, because they want to try to confound you and see if they can, trap you up in your own words. Let's go to the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 6 and verse 14. And it says, verse 14, it's like it says, be not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. For what fellowship hath righteousness with unrighteousness, and what communion has light with darkness? There is no, fellowshipping that we can have with those that don't believe. If they don't believe, hey, we tell them to go up the street, man. What's the point in trying to convince somebody? Here it is, we're already at the finish line. All these prophecies are unfolding, but we have to try to convince somebody else. We have to try to get them right with Yahweh Shema Shai. No, if the Lord has not chosen them, there is absolutely nothing that you can do. Verse 14. And what concord hath the Mashiach with Belial? And what part hath he that believeth with an infidel? Which is ultimately talking about an unbeliever. From there, let's go to the book of Galatians, chapter 3 and verse 3. Slacky. I believe it's another scripture in Galatians. No, it's the book of Amos. The book of Amos, chapter 3 and verse 3. It says, can two walk together except they be agreed? That's right, man. The scriptures say that if we're men of the Lord, that there are supposed to be no divisions amongst us, and that we're supposed to be all fully persuaded in our own mind. We cannot be unequally yoked with a person that does not believe, man. So if these people try to come up, these Christians try to come up and confound you, hey, use the scriptures, debunk whatever they're saying. And if they don't believe after that, then hey, tell them to go up the street, man. Because all hell is about to break loose out here real soon. There's no time to save everybody. You can't save everybody. If you try to save, all Israel, you'll just end up saving no one. Because ultimately 2/3, approximately, if you do the math, 66.7% of our people are ultimately going to have to be casted into that fire. So I'm going to end this off with the Psalm of David. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 26 and verse 4. And it says, I have not sat with vain persons, neither will I go in with the dissemblers. I have hated the congregation of the evildoers and will not sit with the wicked. I will wash my hands in innocency, so will I compass thine altar, O Yahweh. So even the mighty King David, he said, in the NLT, it says, I do not spend time with liars or go along with hypocrites. I hate the gatherings of those who do evil, and I refuse to join in with the wicked. And that's the same conduct that we have to have today. You know, the scriptures say what? Avoid wicked men. If these men don't believe, then there's no reason that we should even be in their presence. So I hope this lesson was edifying. And with that, I'm going to give all honor, glory, and praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai by Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone GMS that rule well. Shalom. Abba Babal, and I'll see you on the next lesson.